Something around here stinks, and I think it's in LA. News break, it makes sense. Predictive programming is a hell of a thing. So let's read this article together. The stench of death. California city plagued by extraordinary odor for weeks. Lakeisha Livingstone was driving back to her home in Carson, California in early November after watching her son play football when she was hit by an overpowering stench. It was like a rotten egg smell. Horrible, very strong, Livingstone said. I thought, oh my God, something is going on. That smell has now lasted 4 weeks, creating chaos for residents of Carson, a city in Los Angeles County. The extraordinary stink, which has been described as the stench of death, is coming from a nearby canal where authorities say decomposing vegetation is sending off plumes of hydrogen sulfide gas. The Carson City Council has declared a local state of emergency, but frustrated residents say it's taking too long to fix the problem. That's more than a nuisance. It's making them physically unwell. It's not just an odor. An odor does not make you physically sick with headaches, respiratory problems, and rashes, says Anna Meny, a lifetime Carson resident who worked for the city for 25 years. Livingstone has also experienced health problems. When she'd take walks in the evening, which she does to combat high blood pressure, she experienced pounding headaches, fatigue, and nausea. She would lose her appetite and sleep for 10 hours straight. Her symptoms got so bad that she went to her doctor for anti-nausea medication. The doctor told her, "You're going to have to get out of there if you're going to feel so badly." The county is working on fixing the problem and says the gas levels are starting to decline. They are aerating the canal, known as the Dominguez Canal, injecting hydrogen. No, they're not injecting hydrogen. I'm making some other compounds over here. Never mind. That's wrong. Dominguez Channel injecting oxygen into the water and spraying deodorizer on the canal to reduce the stench. So they're basically masking it. Okay. So far, the city of Carson, along with LA County, has relocated more than 1,300 residents, including many in Livingstone, to hotel rooms. Hundreds more have left the area on their own dime, Meny says. She says it took her a few days after leaving Carson to realize how groggy she had been, running fans all the time to try to keep the smell out of her home. My voice is a little froggy. I have my throat tightening up, even now. I don't have medical coverage. My breathing isn't normal, she says. Meny is running for city clerk, and the election is next Tuesday, but she has been focusing on meeting with displaced residents and organizing through the Facebook page that now has 3,300 members. Residents in the group have likened the smell to the stench of death and The Walking Dead. The way this is going, we are not getting clear answers other than we are bringing the smell down, she says. I could be sitting next to a toxic dump, and if you freeze it to death, you take the smell away, but it's still toxic. City officials say they were first notified of a foul odor coming from the Dominguez Channel, a 15.7-mile-long river that catches storm drains and empties into the port of Los Angeles on 7th of October. A team discovered decomposing materials in the canal and activated an emergency management team. Pray over that water. Nobody used that for any type of chaos magic, because, like storm water that you use. This would be shit water. That sulfur, that goes back to Lucifer. Our water sampling tells us our efforts are working, Mark Pestrella, the director, very fitting, of Los Angeles County Public Works told a virtual town... Man, I all of a sudden can't read. Public Works told a virtual town hall on Wednesday night. So we are ramping up, boy, that's a trigger word, and making good progress and seeing a downtrend in the sulfur hydrogen sulfide that's creating this odor. However, it's still not entirely certain what's causing the persistent stench. Inspectors are looking into the possibility that an earthquake in the mid-September shook something loose from a refinery or other industrial plant in the area. Many was angry to hear city officials blaming the smell on nature alone. We can BS on that, she says. I've lived here 42 years, and everyone says we have never experienced this. Please do not say it's nature. That cannot be. Hydrogen sulfide, also known as sewer gas, is a colorless gas known for its pungent odor at low concentrations. It is extremely flammable and highly toxic, but Muntu David, an LA County health officer who spoke on Wednesday's town meeting, assured residents that the level people are breathing are too low to cause permanent damage. He added that the Environmental Protection Agency determined that you would need to be exposed to about 27,000 parts per billion for an hour straight, or 17,000 ppbs, which I don't know what that is, for 8 hours straight to be at the risk for permanent or irreversible ill health effects. Sorry about the shitty reading and my crappy part on that, but you get the gist. Although some odor 1 hour average reading in the air occasionally reach a high of 7,000 ppb, these levels have been transient and fleeting and occur mostly at night, he said. During the day, the odor's readings have consistently come down and lately have been hovering in the 1,000 ppb or less range, which most people can easily smell. But residents are still worried and frustrated. Last week, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health recommended that residents avoid prolonged outdoor activity between the hours of 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. Shit, isn't it bad enough they have the mandates with the masks and everything else, and now it's shitty smelling season, stay in your house. Oh, Lucifer, you're everywhere. So, schools in the area were told to have discretion when considering outdoor activities, and residents have been told to keep their pets indoors. Carson, in home to predominantly people of color, and residents feel like the responses to their crisis hasn't been as rapid as to other environmental issues in the area, such as the recent oil spill in Huntington Beach, an upscale beach community. I follow the Huntington Beach spills because I hike there sometimes, says Livingstone. That was cleared up in a matter of a week and a half, but that channel is not as big as the beach. So why haven't we received the resources we need? Asked about residents' complaints that resources aren't being fairly distributed, Kurjan Lee, a communications manager from the Los Angeles County Public Works Department, says the response efforts has come from multiple agencies and began immediately after the smell was first reported. We are focused on the bacteria that's digesting the organic materials that's within the channel, Lee says. Many says that areas where people of color live tend to have minimal or no environmental policies in place. The lack of transparency and accountability has left her with more questions than answers. They are telling us one thing about that the levels are low, but our bodies say something else. Why are we still getting sick? She'd like to be able to go home to Carson, but says she'll wait until the headache stops. It's really scary. We don't know how long it's going to be. I agree. It's a bunch of shit. and bullshit too. Then we have Phosphorus. Phosphorus is the morning star, or Lucifer. Let's read the definition. Phosphorus is the planet Venus in its appearance as the morning star. Another Greek name for the morning star is Heosphorus, meaning the dawn bringer. The form Eosphorus is sometimes met in English. As an adjective, the Greek word is applied to the sense of light bringer. For instance, the dawn, the god Dionysus, pine torches, the day, and in a sense of torch bearing, as an epithet of several gods and goddesses, especially Hecate, but also Artemis and Diana and Hephaestus. I'm sorry, that person right there, I apologize, I don't know how to say your name with the H. Objectively, Venus is the light bringer, as she appears most brightly in the sky in December. The most regular appearance of the planets signaled a beginning of rebirth phase where the days would get longer and winter would end. And here we have Lucifer, the morning star. And for shits and giggles, pun not intended, I thought I would add in an honorable mention. Here we have Razkaz. He is one of the horsemen. And as you guys know, I love the Wu-Tang. I used to moderate for Killer Priest, who is always awesome in my opinion. So, of course, I want to give a shout out to Razkaz and the Horsemen and the Wu-Tang in general. Cannabis, Killer Priest, Corrupt, all of you guys. You guys rock.
One fun fact about Carson City is that it's actually the first place in the United States where they held an air show. So that's pretty cool. See, we could focus on the negative, or we could focus on the positive in the new beginnings. So things may smell like shit out there right now, but I think it'll weather the storm and come back better than ever. Because if I recall, you could actually grow things in manure, right? Just because it smells like it doesn't necessarily have to be it. That's worldly, ain't it? The motto for Carson City is Future Unlimited. I like that. I like the thought of an unlimited future. Bam.